Wonder Woman is coming on Sony LIV on 18th of November. The trailer, I think you would have seen by now. And now, you know what? The whole cast and crew is waiting over here. And I can't wait to ask them more questions about how the sets and what all happened on the sets and what is Wonder Woman really all about. Come, let's go. Hi, I'm Sridevika.
Hi, Sridevika.
Nice meeting you. After watching the trailer of the woman, the energy is awesome and lovely to meet you all in one screen. Virtually, I guess you guys are meeting up together after the shoot, I believe. So,
yes.
So it's lovely meeting you all. And tell me more about Wonder Woman, because with the trailer, I saw the lot of women. Of course, there are men, but a lot of women, and the energy is like captivating. So I'm eager to know what Wonder Woman is all about. I'll start with Parvathy.
Oh my God. God, this is one of those bingo game-like situation. I think you'll ask us a question. I think all of us will have a lot to say. Thanks for picking me first, but I'm so happy to be with my Wonder Woman. What do I say more about it? There is only a lot to speak, starting from the fact that during lockdown, I met Anjali, one of those clandestine meetings, because, you can't really like talk about it because we are meeting like with masks and safety and sanitizing doubly, triply and all. And she gave me this tiniest bit of a peep into Minnie's world. My character's world, and I had no idea when she was going to be casting that these were going to be my co-riders on this journey. And yeah, it was overwhelming, but it was the safest and the most glorious celebratory space to be performing a character for me. So yeah, let's start with that. I'll let others speak.
So yeah, speaking about women-centric roles, and people do say that women-centric roles have to come up in movies, and very rarely we do see those kind of characters in cinemas. Do you think Wonder Woman is one kind of such a movie where it is all women and women has an important role to play in this?
I would just want to state one thing and then move the question to our visionary, our director, Anjali. I believe stories are stories and we're all humans. And the more we start putting it into categories like what centric. So for like eons, if we haven't called a project about a man male centric, then there isn't pretty much a reason to call film female centric. If that's the way to go, then the gender spectrum entirely needs to be respected as well. So I would say this is one of the most outstanding, glorious depiction of a certain journey made by these wonderful women, these Wonder Women. And that's the center, that's the energy center for the story, more than any kind of bracketing or limiting it to any box. Moving it on to like Anjali, I would love to hear her speak about it.
I've always thought that there are so many aspects of life which we don't really see on screen. Things that we relate to every day. There are so many experiences which for some reason escape the screen, and I think Wonder Woman is about one such aspect, and I think that is the much more celebratory thing. Whereas just skewing it to one gender, I don't think is necessarily there. But in this film, I have to say we are very unapologetic and unabashed about this being about the feminine experience and about women of all kinds, of all shapes, sizes, of all thoughts. So that's definitely there. But in tow with them are the men and the thought of children and all of that. So I would much rather think that this is a space that we are reclaiming, that we're putting things at the center, things that we think should be talked about. So it's much more interesting for us to look at it from that point of view.
We on to you, Nithya. Nice to see you. You look lovely. And your Skylab has reached OTT platform, I believe. You being a producer, how do you feel being a producer?
Fantastic. I love my film Skylab. I love that film, and the decision to produce it came purely from the fact that I loved the script so much, and I just wanted to see it, come out in the right way. And it's something I'm very, very proud of.
In this movie, I think most of the women speak English. So is Wonder Woman like an English movie, a pan-Indian movie? What is it? First time I'm seeing a lot of women characters in Indian cinema speaking English. So no idea. What is it?
I don't understand what pan-Indian means, honestly. I hear it a lot, but I don't know what that means. But I think what Wonder Woman is it's authentic. So it just has people who speak the way we would normally speak, like how you and I and all of us, the 9 of us here, how we would normally be in life. That's just how the film is.
So do you think there's a language restriction to movies? Right now we have Malayalam movie, Tamil movie, Kannada movie. So there are a lot of different movies. So does Wonder Woman stand differently from all this?
Of course, because I mean, it doesn't conform to any specific language, but that's, I think, the one beautiful thing that OTT platforms have given us. It's given us a space where everybody watches this. And so language really, that barrier, that very strong separation has kind of gone off now. So I think we're okay with that a little bit. And of course, it is a new thing. This is not something that it has been done too much, but I really think this is very, very natural, very normal. When I write like that because I speak a lot of languages. So when I write, I speak each of my characters speak the way they should speak. Like my character in Wonder Woman, she's from Bangalore, so she's a Kannadiga, so she speaks Kannada. I can speak Kannada. So Anjali wanted me to speak that. Parvathy's character is from Hyderabad, so she speaks to her driver, for example, in a very Hyderabadi Urdu. So that's how normal people are, and it's just, I think, just authentic.
One thing that we don't often get to see is how people of multiple ethnicities are interacting with each other. There is so much stress and pressure to place a certain film in a certain language, be it on OTT or in other formats, that a lot of times people are telling stories not necessarily in the authentic voice. And that, I think, is something that we've tried to push a little bit. It's really helpful that our producers have been completely supportive with that, and Sony as well has been very encouraging about it. So we're really excited to see how that goes. You were talking about the trailers. I got so many calls saying, we didn't even realize that most people are speaking English in it, because it's just, it's just normal. It's not registering which language is being spoken. So I think that actually speaks for how real we can get.
Usually we keep movies to a certain language centric, right? This is this kind of Tamil movie.
It's a very market-driven approach.
Yeah, so didn't see that. That's why that question came from me. And Nadiya ma'am, I heard a story that you have turned down an offer from Maine Pyar Kiya. Just speak little about it, ma'am, please.
No, this was back in, which might feel like stone ages. I mean, to, my friends who are a part of this film, but it was in 1988. That was the time when I decided to get married. And honestly, I did get offers for a couple of Hindi films during that time. And just the love and respect I'd gotten from our South films, I just didn't want, to jump into something new and try to prove yourself or whatever. Was very busy in the South then. And this was the time when we had decided to get married, as I mentioned earlier. And so, I mean, that was one of the reasons why I actually turned down the film. And so the joke in our family is maine kya kiya, not maine pyar kiya.
But you did a brilliant body of work, like from 1980s to now, the experience you have in the cinema, whole South Indian language. And coming to Anjali Menon said, how was it for you? Was it different, or the cinema has changed, or is the same? Your experience, please.
No, there's a lot of change. There's a lot of change in how things are projected, how things are addressed. And especially with Anjali, she's one of the directors I really wanted to work with. So I think that was a blessing. And with Anjali, I mean, her style, her way of work is a little different. The biggest challenge I think I faced in this film was, I'm very used to, I still come from a very old school, where you're given your lines and you memorize them and, and then you just basically, you perform. But with Anjali, what she did was, she had she had her lines, but then after a while she would just say that, you know what, you just say what comes to you naturally. And for me, that was like, even the English I knew, I somehow forgotten it, because I just couldn't get the right words at the right time. And so she pushed me there. And it was a very different thought process for me. It was challenging, but I absolutely enjoyed doing it because it just pushed another button into my, performance. And I think the body language changes because of that. So that was one of the biggest things which I learned. And just her nature of work, where the way she explains to you, even from the time when she came to narrate the story to me, she would like literally sit like this close to me. And my husband on the other end is wondering, what are you girls like? Literally, it looked like we were gossiping about something. And she was, trying to get the reaction as she's narrating the story to me, seeing, whether she really is seeing the Nandita in me. And so it started from there. And I think it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a very, very different experience, a very enriching experience. And I'm so glad I could be a part of this project. And talking about experience, there's always room for us to learn. And coming to this generation of actors, including all the women I'm working with, there has been such a learning. And I say this with every film where I'm working with a lot of the youngsters today. And they just amaze me. Sometimes I kind of question my own talent because they get it immediately. And I think they're just more knowledgeable about the craft. And I think it brings a lot to what they perform and, how they bring it up on the screen. So I think there's a lot to be given to the actors today.
I will just step in and say that that's, Nadiya ma'am being her most humble and gracious self. She just totally rocked it on set, okay?
And I couldn't have done it without you, Anjali. I will give you the credit
for that. I saw a couple of BTS of yours, and the energy in that BTS itself. Of course, there are lines to, as you say, ad-lib. Anjali is always on ad-lib. I've worked with her in Manjari Kuru. I know how she is on set. But the energy on the BTS itself, like you are having a vacation, you all. It's not one person. You all were hugging and having fun. Didn't look like you were doing a movie. So that's what it amazed me. Like how that energy that Anjali brings in on set. I would like to know. Anjali, how's it?
So you talk to each of them. That's the only way you can do it. They're very generous spirits and quite mad, all of us in there. And that was like, put everybody together and let the crazy energy explode. It was just that.
Like
so
I would like to add that for me, it was very, very new. It was the first time that I was being around so many of my colleagues, right? Like I'd never worked with them before. I'd never met them before. And it was so new for me being put in a room. I just want to say officially that none of us had a separate room. We didn't have our own caravans, nothing. They were like, all of you, one room, go, So we were all there in that one room with costumes. So the room was full of clothes. So it was the costume room with all of us girls, huh? Like
I saw the BTS that two of you were sharing one fan. And I think it was very hot during that time. I was like struggling to get the fan.
No, but like for me, it was, I'm a single child and I'm very used to like having my space and everything. But I was pushed into this environment where like I had to share space and I loved it. I suddenly discovered what it was like to be around. I love being around girls. I really do enjoy being around girls, and there's just so much better.
So much. But Nithya, I think you had your space, right? That sofa.
It was an L-shaped sofa. Everybody needs to know there was one sofa.
No, I must say that Nithya, when I called her up, she said, see, the only way I'm coming back is if you put all of us into the same room once again.
I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed being together like that. We were all none of us had any qualms. We didn't have any tantrums. We were very, very okay with being with each other and sharing our space, and all our quirks were I felt so understood. You know, there were so many things that we
issues
specifically
that were creating between women are all because of men, I believe.
I have never in my life faced competition from or a sense of competition or a sense of thing from women. I have always seen it from my male co-stars.
Great.
Right.
Amruta,
Yes.
happy to see you in South Indian. I can't say South Indian, but in this part of cinema,
Yeah.
you have done a great body of work in Marathi and Hindi movies as well as plays. You have a very strong presence in drama. So how is it being in sets of Anjali Menon, being in set of Anjali Menon?
That's what, I mean, as Nadiya said, even it was my dream to work with Anjali because I had seen Bangalore Days, then I saw Kude, and I loved her film so much, and she will remember that I had called her. And then I said, Anjali, I have to work with you, but then I'll have to learn Malayalam, is it? Malayalam Mansalella. So she said, oh, but you don't have to. So I'm like, then how, what, what to do? And then she said, see, universe will find out a way where you will speak Marathi or Hindi or English or any language, but you will be in my films. So I'll be like, how? I don't know. And see, that has happened. So Anjali has a very strong connection with universe, I must say. That, you know, I landed up in her film in my language, that too. I mean, I'm speaking so many languages in this film also. So yeah, it was my dream come true. And it was amazing because I had seen Nithya's work, I had seen Parvathy's work, Nadiya's work. So, you know, to be with them and to know them. And I would always say that I want to work with her. And then many dreams coming together. That's what happened there. And then I met some new friends like Saya and like Archana, like I hadn't met them before. And then Priya also. And such mad energy, as Anjali said. And it was really great. And, you know, there's this, I wouldn't say it's South Indian industry, but even we have this Marathi industry also has that way of where we work like a family, you know. And I come from that tradition. I come from experimental plays where, you know, hum apni dari bichha rahe hain aur hum jaake lights laga rahe, you know, and we love doing that. So that kind of thing, I started my career with Sumitra Bhave and Sunil Suttankar, who now Sumitra Maushi is not with us, but then I think that, you know, वो सब जो family feeling था ना, वो मुझे, I got it back. And I think universe balances things because I lost Sumitra Maushi and I was like, oh, my family is gone and I get another family. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's really touching for me that such like-minded, वैसे ही सारे लोग मेरी जिंदगी में वापस आ गए. So I'm really grateful that Jaya happened to me and Anjali and all these people happened to me.
Yeah, Amrita's really gone out of her way because we had, you know, schedule breaks, we had date issues, everything, but somehow she just made it possible, you know, she made it happen. So
Yeah,
yes,
and then, yeah, it started with being a film of Anjali Menon, frankly, but then it went beyond it. You know, it became some spiritual thing for me because the way Anjali carries you towards the character, the way she literally carries you towards, I mean, she literally carried all of us towards our characters, I would say. So to experience that, you know, many small miracles happening and we witnessing all of that, you know, with each other, like, you know, so that thing was happening. And as we were saying, this film doesn't get into any slots. It's not like every good project, every character is important, I would say. Jaya is not complete without Umesh. And I think that is the good point, that it is not only, you know, these units are also working very well in the film. And I remember like that room we were sharing, all of us, you know, I remember even male cast was changing in the same room and they'll be like that. They'll be scared and they'll be like, can I come in? No! Okay, I'm going. Because we had that monopoly and we're like, don't come here, go away. So like, it was fun. It was really fun. And I miss those days. I miss Sumana. You know, that location I did so much. I remember Sumana, you know, Anjali, the other day I saw Sumana in my dreams. You know what? I miss, it's become part of my psyche, literally, you know, and it seldom happens that any location is coming in my dreams. But, you know, we went there and since morning till evening, we would be there together. So that location has also added so much to ourselves, not only to the film, I would say.
So coming to Archana, you being a curator, you have worked behind a movie, like in post and pre-production work. You have done a lot, and you have been an actor. How is it coming to Anjali Menon's movie? Because you have seen a lot of Malayalam cinema by now, and also like how Amruta said, Anjali has this tendency of making the character walk through that path of that journey. How was the journey for you?
Now I to my friends, I say that I'm like this Anjali Menon encyclopedia, because I have seen through, I've seen her through different angles. I worked with her behind the screen, on the screen, and I worked with her in the collective. So it's like looking at the same person from different angles. My experience right now after the film, like when we were talking about the shoot and everything, that I'm actually literally understanding the weight of my experience in what the experience was. It was very smooth because most of them were my friends, and immediately from the first day onwards, new people who came to join were also my friends. So it was fun basically. And I really didn't even know the way she took me to the character. I was even eating so much food because I was Gracie. It was allowed. I never stopped even after the shoot. So so it was like and she was very sweet. My character is, I'm not talking about it much, but she's such a sweetheart. So eventually, I think even I had a small change in my character. Because I don't know if calculated trap from Anjali Menon, but then I eventually felt like
some suspense in Gracie's character.
Suspense in the sense, I'm sure she's very relatable. I'm sure, I mean, I liked her basically because I worked in the collective, Women in Cinema collective, with most of these people. I was like with my friends shooting, having good experience, fun and everything. And the work, I never felt like working because Anjali was all the time, like before the shot, she was there near my ear, telling me something, some secret, some mantra, and I think it worked. So it was like a very smooth journey. I was just flowing, and I had a lot of my people with me, my team, as I always say. So yeah, so for me it's like a beautiful experience, a new experience, and it's a special film, not just a film, it's more than a film, it's an experience. And I'm sure a character and a film which boosted my confidence to actually pursue acting in that sense.
Nice. Yeah, lovely to see you in the trailer. Saya, your first debut.
I know.
You are a great performer. You conquer the stage. But how was this first debut with Anjali Menon? And acting wise, how do you feel? What was the fun you had? Tell me all about the set.
The thing is, I was really thrilled, and I didn't know why I was called to this movie, because everybody around me is like Nithya Menen, Parvathy and Padmapriya and Amruta and everyone. I'm like, why should I be here? I mean, I didn't understand. I always used to ask Anjali, why me? Why me? Why did you call me? So then when I came to the set, I understood that the character which I'm going to play is Saya, who represents me actually. And in every ways, I guess, even in the rage, I'm a very angry woman. Saya is a very angry woman who actually pushes away her partner when he always, comes, smother her with love and everything. So in real life, I'm kind of different in that, only in that perspective, but all the other perspective is just the same. And I didn't feel like acting at all. I was just being myself on set, and even the name helped me a lot because everybody calls me Saya. Even in the industry, all my friends calls me Saya. And that too in the set, I didn't have urge to convert into that character or anything, because the character was just me. Saya was just me. So I was just being myself on the set. So, and with everyone, this is like, for me, I don't know. I think after the first shoot itself, I asked Anjali, why did you actually call me for this? But I think, we actually talked about a very, very, a famous video of us, a dance video. So that's why she actually wanted me to do that character. And it was a wonderful experience with Nadiya ma'am and everyone. For me, I don't know. I knew that I could act because I used to dub for movies. So for some Malayalam movies, I dubbed. But acting, no, I didn't think about acting, but still I knew that, okay, I can do something. But when I came to the set, this was like the best experience, maybe the best experience ever in a movie set, for sure.
And she was so natural. When you see it, you'll know it. I mean, she was really natural.
And I would just like to add one thing, that during the film, it just happened, we hadn't decided it, but Saya and Jaya, because the character of Jaya can't speak in English and Saya doesn't know Hindi. But we came together and we used to converse, and that created some very fun moments, I think. And Anjali would be like, "How you talk? आप दोनों आपस में बात करो." And Saya would be like, what मैं हिंदी में बात कर रही हूँ, साया का हिंदी बहुत. So it was a very interesting mathematics. Saya and Jaya.
My Hindi काके की प्रयोग हमको मालूम नहीं है, और it is like real damn.
But she's so sweet. I loved her while she was talking in Hindi as well.